Hello everyone. This is Yunus, all the way from Morocco, known as Otaku Flow. And I brought you today my glass of tea and a bunch of my beautiful poems to share with you, and I hope you like them. This first one is called Tick Tock. Tick Tock, Tick Tock, an endless recurring clock talk, which translates to, in English, the early bird catches the worm. In Arabic, الوقت كالسيف إن لم تقطعه قطعك. In French, ce n'est pas le temps qui manque, c'est nous qui lui manquons. In Chinese, it's Wen Guanyin, it's Wen Jing, Nama, it's Wen Guanyin. Our ancestors in every part of the globe all agreed that time is urgent, valuable, and powerful, a life substance that every mortal deals with in his short life, which is a count of moments that everyone is accountable for making them countable. Tick tock. Tick tock, an endless recurring clock talk. If you hear it, that means you're still alive. If you hear it, that means you're dying. So make sure you live, not only survive, and enjoy all the ticks and talks. And I know it's not easy, but it's scarier not to try than hitting a wall while trying. Eventually, we're gonna die, and the clock will keep ticking, talking. Because time don't care about us. We care about it. So that's my first poem. My second poem is called Man Cry Too. Man Cry Too. Yes, I'm a man who cries. I've cried before for watching a Bollywood movie. I've cried before for watching a Bollywood movie. I cried when Spider-Man vanished the time Thanos snapped his finger. I cried also when Tony Stark died by saving everyone with snapping his fingers. I cried also for not finding my slice of pizza in the fridge. I cried when my grandparents died. I cried for seeing my mom crying each time she remembers her dad. I cried for missing my mom. I cried for missing my mom's food. I cried for not being present and not giving any presents at the first birthday of my little brother. I cried for feeling alone in the crowds. I cried for seeing a video of a dying whale in the ocean. I cried for being so sad, being so happy too. I cried for knowing that I'm between the hands of God. Yes, I think I cried a lot for meaningful things too, and meaningless things too. Yes, I'm a man, an African, who cries. I don't only cry, I like crying. It reminds me how vulnerable is the human being. It reminds me that I'm a human being because only humans cry for feelings, sadness, happiness, or pain. I really like crying. I like the way the tears flow on my cheeks, craving true emotions, easing my wounds, healing my scars, giving place to others. Don't be ashamed of crying. Please, don't be ashamed of crying because cry is a grace. So cry the same way you love, out loud. The third poem is a pantrum and it's called Before. Before the mental growth we develop physically in terms of size, strength, and ability, through that journey we live experiences. In terms of size, strength, and ability, we endure different kinds of hardship. Through that journey, we live experiences that can leave us scarred. We endure different kinds of hardship, which makes the past sound easy. That can leave us scars. Scars that marks pain and healing, which makes the past sound easy. We develop physically scars that marks pain and healing before the mental growth. This poem is called Meaning, and it's actually my most recent poem. It's also a pantun. Meaning. Living and dying have a meaning from their relation to each other. Life has no meaning without the fatality of dying. Life has no meaning without emotions, pains, and pleasures. Without the fatality of dying, living would be the main reason behind pain. Without emotions, pains, and pleasures, decisions can't be made. Living would be the main reason behind pain, so dying is a grace. Decisions can't be made when the body is 6 feet under. So dying is a grace, full-time sleep is a grace. When the body is 6 feet under, heaven or reincarnation are definitely to dream. Though full-time sleep is a grace, living would be the main reason behind pleasure. Heaven or reincarnation are definitely the dream. Though heaven with the emotions of a living being would be boring, living would be the main reason behind pleasure, as there is no pleasure in dying. Heaven with the emotions of a living being would be boring, as constant pleasure for living is more like a dream than a life, as there is no pleasure in dying. Living and dreaming have a meaning, as constant pleasure for living is more like a dream than a life. From their relation to each other, living and dreaming have a meaning. Living and dying have a meaning. This last and short poem is called Symphony. And it's called Symphony because it has some thoughts that rhymes with everyone's experiences, and I hope you can relate to it. Symphony. Our lives are so much like a symphony played on a piano breaking the universal silence. Tones, notes expressed on black and white tiles, where no symphony is complete and enjoyable without the sharpness of black tones. The same way those unwanted dark nights or dark moments come to remind us of the ends and initiate us to the beginnings. Those moments that makes it hard to live and great to cheer up. Moments like these when everyone is hitting a new low, when it's really hard to find the flow. Moments that takes time to recover from the blow. These moments that leave us mind blown, but just when we think that's all there is, it turns out different. Way differently that those moments becomes hard to remember. Longer days, summer days come to prove us wrong. Days as long as those white tiles that play those notes or even longer. Ironically, this time, unlike back in those forgotten moments, we think that the long days will end. And eventually they end to leave space for the following black tile. And the sequence continues as long as the clock is ticking, as long as our hearts are beating. Black and white tiles keep going up and down, allowing the symphony to keep playing, for the ears to keep listening, and the mind to stay in ecstasy. Ding, 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 quick reminder the symphony is sooner or later ending. So enjoy listening. So enjoy listening. So enjoy listening, but don't worry. The piano will still be there for other symphonies to play. That was my time, everyone. Thank you for listening. And this was my tea. Have fun. Enjoy the night. Thank you.
That was amazing. Oh my God. I just love so much the symphony and like crying and like that the idea that, you know, universally this idea that men shouldn't cry. And I think it's powerful to cry. I think it's a sense of self-expression, and I think it's amazing. So, you know, we get to be champions for each other about living our true authentic selves. And so that is amazing, and thank you so much. Just beautiful. As our I said, lovely poetry, an amazing collection of poems, just perfectly beautiful. Like, these comments have been so amazing for everybody. And as we take a moment and kind of sit in the grace of this moment and take in that poetry, we get to watch the beautiful art of Wolf. Wolf is a self-taught artist based in Chicago and New York, and began painting in 2000. His style is rich and vibrant, with colors that are inspired by many of his breakthroughs in life, finding love, compassion, and engagement with others. So let's engage with his art as we take a moment and enjoy the silence.